जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीर वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Kathanjana smrite yasmin dushkaram sukaram bhavet vismrite viparitam syat Shri Chaitanya namamitam Mukam karoti vachalam pangum lankyate girim Yat kripadamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Pramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Everyone. So it's been a while since we had our last session. So today again am I audible to everyone first of all? Yeah, okay, I'll take up the mic. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So today I have selected a very ardent devotee of Lord Guruvayoorappan from Kerala again. So his name is Poonthanam. How many of you have heard about Poonthanam before? Yeah, 2 people have heard. Okay, three of you have heard. For everyone, it is going to be a treat. Now, see, here, like in the first session itself, we discussed on this topic that how the glories of the Supreme Lord is indeed wonderful. Hearing about them gives us hope. That is actually our real position, to hear the glories of Krishna. It is just as if, in this world, we want to hear our glories. Right? When somebody is speaking about someone else, we are not very attentive. Say that, okay, he is great, nice. But when somebody speaks about us, this person, he speaks so well. This person, he is so nice. He has such a nice character. We are very attentive at that point. Arey haan, ye mere bare mein bol raha hai na? How about your loved one? Like I have seen many times, my mom, if somebody is glorifying her, she is very happy. But when somebody is glorifying me, she is more happy. I don't know if it is just about mothers, because I have not been a mother, so I don't know. But mothers can relate maybe, that when their children are glorified, they are very happy. Similarly, Krishna is our Supreme Father, and when the devotees of Krishna are glorified, Krishna is more attentive. Krishna sits down and listens to what the person is saying. Oh, he is speaking about my devotee. So he is more attentive. He is attentive when he is hearing about himself, because everybody likes to hear about themselves. But he is more attentive when we speak about the glories of the devotees. Krishna, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the very first verse, Vyasadeva says that Janmadyasya yathonvayaditaratascharteshva bhijnaswarat Tene brahma hridaya adi kavaye muhyanti yat suraya Tejo varimritam jalam vinimayo yatra trisargo mrisha Dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam satyam param dhimahi. Vyasadeva says that who is Krishna? Janmadyasya yathonvayaditaratascharteshva bhijnaswarat. He is directly and indirectly involved in all types of creation, destruction and maintenance. He is Swarat. He is independent. He is supremely independent. He does not depend on anybody. He is the absolute truth. He has, he is not dependent on anybody for anything. He does whatever he likes. Nobody can question him, because he is the Supreme Lord. He is the person who makes the law. Right? The laws are not applicable on him. He is Swarat. But that Supreme Lord, who is so independent and who is, he is supremely independent. He can do whatever he wants. He comes under the control of his devotees. That is the glory of the Supreme Lord. If you see in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a section where Yashoda Maya, she tries to bind Lord Krishna. She binds Lord Krishna, and there a wonderful verse appears. Shukadeva Goswami says that, never in this creation nobody was given, so much mercy. Even Lord Shiva is not, given so much mercy. Brahma is not given so much mercy. Even Lakshmi Devi, who is, better half of the Supreme Lord, never got the mercy of binding the Supreme Lord. But this Gopi, Yashoda, she got that mercy. Right? Why? Because Krishna is known as Bhritya Vashyatam. He gets controlled by his devotees. In fact, in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, when Narasimhadev appears to protect Prahlad Maharaj, there are many Puranas which actually describe about this situation. But there is no Purana which is actually as beautiful as Srimad Bhagavatam. Why? Because Shukadeva Goswami could have simply said that the Supreme Lord appeared as a half lion and half man and killed Hiranyakashipu, and he just showed his prowess and all those things. But Shukadeva Goswami says, Satyam vidhatum nijabhritya bhashitam vyaptim cha bhuteshu akhileshu chatmana adarshanatyad bhutarupamudvahan stambhe sabhayam namrigam namanusham. Shukadeva Goswami says, why does the Supreme Lord appear? Satyam vidhatum nija bhritya bhashitam. He did not appear to kill Hiranyakashipu. Yeah, he appeared to kill Hiranyakashipu, but it is secondary. What is the primary reason? Satyam vidhatum nija bhritya bhashitam. Because his devotee told that he is there in the pillar, he wanted to make sure that his devotee is not lying. That is the reason why Krishna appeared, Vishnu appeared in that pillar. Everything is secondary to him. The primary thing is his reciprocation with the devotees. Today also, going on, we are going to see a lot of incidents in the life of a great devotee who had conquered Krishna. But conquering Krishna comes with a cost. We should be ready to bear the cost. Yeah. So we will get into the story. No more introduction. Yes. So there was this bhakti wave that you might have learned in the history. When you hear about the stories of Mirabai, then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then Tulasidas, and all these people come in the bhakti wave. And similarly, on a similar timeline, we have Tukaram Maharaj, Dhyaneshwar Maharaj, and Jana Bhai, and all these people in this side of the country. Then in the south, we have Andal and all those devotees in Tamil Nadu and all those areas. In Kerala, we have Poonthanam. Then there is Melpatur Narayana Bhattadiri. Then we have Kururamma. We had a session on Kururamma also, right? So Poonthanam is like, it's kind of similar in principle with Kururamma. But he is a very celebrated personality in Kerala. Even more than Kururamma, for a matter of fact, because Kururamma had not written a lot of works or anything like that. But Poonthanam has written also and contributed a lot. Right? So Poonthanam was born in a Brahmin family. In fact, Poonthanam is not his name. It's his family name. Right? So he was born in a Brahmana family. So in those days, the Brahmanas, they are well versed in Sanskrit and everything. But Poonthanam was not very much learned in Sanskrit. He came from a very normal background, not very rich or aristocratic. But he was a devotee of Krishna since his youth or childhood, you can say. He was a devotee of Krishna. Becoming a devotee of Krishna is not a one lifetime job, right? If you see somebody who is a devotee of Krishna, you should understand that he has passed a lot of lives to come to that stage. What is the proof? In fact, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself says, कि बहुत सारे जन्म लेने के बाद में ज्ञानवान जो होता है वो मेरा आश्रित होता है. Krishna says like that. So a devotee of Krishna, he is doing devotional service since many births, and that's why sometimes we see that apparently seeming that, coming from this background, this family, from this group of friends, how can this person become a devotee? है ना? Sometimes we have seen that. अरे ये लोग के तो घर वाले सब नॉनवेज खाते हैं, इनका तो पूरा ग्रुप ही पूरा बिगड़ा हुआ है, बचपन से लेके ऐसा था, अचानक से ऐसा कैसे बन गया? कुछ अचानक से नहीं हो रहा है. It is just getting triggered at one point of time, and then he is continuing. This is the beauty of devotional service or any spiritual practice for that matter. In material life, if you know, say for example, you have done till your post graduation in this life, then you pass away. In the next life, you have to start from nursery only. You cannot say that in the previous life I was a PhD holder, but in spiritual life it is not like that. You have to one step towards Krishna. The next life begins from the second step. It's not the first step again. This is not UPSC exams. फिर वापस पीछे जाओ, वापस आगे आओ, इसका जरूरत नहीं पड़ता. So for that matter of fact, Poonthanam was a great devotee of Krishna since his early life itself. But his devotion got strong and mature after one incident that happened in his life. He got married to a nice Brahmana girl when he was 20, and they were not having kids for a long time. बहुत टाइम के लिए इनका कोई बच्चा नहीं था. And actually the completeness of married life comes after you beget a child. So like any other person who is married at that point of time, Poonthanam also wanted children, right? So he was praying to his beloved Lord that please give me a child, please give me an infant, नहीं तो मेरा कुल यहाँ पे खत्म हो जाएगा, please give me a child. After many years of prayers and tapasya and everything, one child was born to Poonthanam. Once this child was born, Poonthanam and his wife, his Antarjanam, they were very excited. You know, the baby is growing. You know, like when children are there in our house, we see how they start crawling and how they start, you know, sometimes they smile and sometimes they cry and sometimes, you know, they will try to speak something. You know, sometimes they are sleeping and smiling and all those things are happening. So, Poonthanam and his wife, they are enjoying it because it is an offspring that has come after a long time, right? तो वात्सल्य अपना वो मैच्योरिटी पे है कि इतने साल बाद बच्चा हुआ है, तो वो लोग सब बहुत खुश थे. सो जब भी वो बच्चे का 1 साल का जब जन्मदिन आता है, तो वो टाइम पे दे डिसाइड कि वी विल कीप अ सेरेमनी, वी विल इनवाइट अदर ब्राह्मणास आल्सो फ्रॉम डिफरेंट प्लेसेस विद देयर फैमिलीज, and we will keep one program, right? It is in fact Annaprasham, some people say that it is Abdapurti, but yes, anyway. So the ceremony had to happen late in the evening. The muhurta was like that. So because of that, all the guests, they had come early, because those days they had to walk around and it was dangerous. अभी तो कैसा है कि हम जब भी चाहिए वो उससे आधे घंटा पहले निकले चले गए, पहले ऐसा नहीं होता था. So they had to walk long distance and come. So they had come in the morning itself. So once they had come, they had to freshen up, right, for the program in the evening. So one by one they went and they took bath. All the women, they had to take bath, they had to dress up and come. So one person, she went inside the room, she took bath, she came out and she had to keep her wet clothes somewhere. So it was a dark room. So she, in the corner of the room, she had put her clothes there. The second person came. She saw that I have to put my, wet clothes somewhere. So she saw that one person has already put it here. So she also, it is natural, right? We also do that. But little did they know that the child of Poonthanam, which is not even, completely 1 year old, was under those wet clothes now. Right? Because it was a dark room, nobody saw, because he was sleeping. And all these guests, one by one, they had put their clothes on the child, and when the ceremony was about to begin, so Poonthanam called out to his wife that bring my child again. She went inside, and to the shock of her life, she saw that the child is no more. The child had died. You imagine that you have waited for something so long. It is your child. In fact, in the Shastras, in Sanskrit is a very interesting language. In Sanskrit, child is sometimes known as Atmaja. Atma Ja. Ja means to take birth, janma lena. Kaha se? Atma se. Atmaja matlab a child to his father is like himself. It is an expansion. That's why when a child is lost, the parents, they are so grief stricken as if they have lost themselves, right? Their own life. In fact, if you ask a mother, if you are in a situation where either you or your child can survive, what would you do? The mother would obviously take a decision where she would die for the child. So the child is, for the parents, children are more valuable than their own life, which they are protecting from Yamraj and running. And that child for Poonthanam is gone now. Especially when it is an infant. Imagine. That attachment and everything, it is lost in a point of time. And his wife comes with the dead body of the child to Poonthanam and says that, see what Guruvayoorappan has given you. See what Krishna has given you. And in that state, Poonthanam, an extreme sense of grief, it strikes Poonthanam, but at the same time a sense of renunciation arises in his heart. He, to himself, he says that, why I am going through all these things? Because I have desired for something else other than you, Krishna. That is why I am going through all these things. This suffering in my life is because I have desired for something which is not you. Right? Only a devotee can think like this. Sometimes it might be very, very surprising for us. What kind of statement is this? Like his child is lost and he is not even upset with Krishna. He is saying that, oh, all this has happened because I am not doing my devotional services properly to you. Because I have desired for something other than you. And he starts crying. And it is said that at that point, Krishna, as a small child, a small bluish black boy who is very young, he is barely able to walk. He is like that, with all those ornaments, which is intensifying his beauty, with his curly locks of hair and a Vaijayanti mala and nice, his teeth, it's like freshly budding lily flowers. It looks like that. He has a broad eyes even as a child, nice cheeks, and his cheeks are actually shining because of the reflection that is falling from his ears, the earrings that he is wearing. That Krishna, he comes up, he climbs over Poonthanam's lap and holds on to Poonthanam's face, and he looks at Poonthanam eyes to eyes and he calls him father. And this is the point where Poonthanam realizes that when Krishna is playing as your child in your heart, what is the need of any children in this life? In fact, he has written that in the Jnanapana. Towards the end, he has written, Unni Krishnan manasil kalakkumbol unnigal mattedu venamo namakkai. So like that he writes. Because Krishna comes and calls him as his father, and Krishna consoles him that I am here, why are you worrying about some child? I am here now for you. Like that. This is the period where Poonthanam starts writing his famous Jnanapana. So Jnanapana literally refers to as, it is a, Pana means it's a poetic work. It's a special type of poetry. So it is known as Pana. Different kinds of poetic works are called with different names, right? In Sanskrit, there is something which is known as Champu. So Champu is where you mix poetry and, paragraph.
Prose.
Yeah, prose and this thing. When you mix it, it is known as a Champu. It is a special form of writing. So similarly, Pana is also a special form of poetry. in Malayalam. So he writes his first this thing, that is Jnanapana, which means it's a song of wisdom. This is nothing but a summary study of Srimad Bhagavatam. This Poonthanam was very attached to Srimad Bhagavatam, so he writes this. The very beginning of this Jnanapana, it goes like this. Guru Nathan Tuna Chaika Santatam Tirunamangal Navin Meleppozhum Piriyade Irikkanam Nammude Narajanmam Saphalamakiduvan Krishna Krishna Mukunda Janardhana Krishna Govinda Narayana Hare Achyutananda Govinda Madhava Satchitananda Narayana Hare. So he says that Guru Nathan Tunachaika Santatam. What do I want in life? It is just that my Guru, my spiritual master, should always keep me under his shelter. Tirunamangal Navin Meleppozhum. And I want the holy names of Krishna to dance on my tongue always. Piriyade Irikkanam. These two things should not go away from my life. Narajanmam Saphalamakiduvan. So that my human form of life is successful. Innaleyolam endanarnilla. I don't know what has happened till yesterday. And what is going to happen tomorrow, that also I don't know. And my own body, which I am seeing now, when is this going to perish, that also I don't know. And I am going to protect my child. I want a child to take care of. I cannot take care of myself. So he realizes at that point that all these relationships of this world, it only remains for some time. It has to go away someday. But the relationship with Krishna is something that gives you fulfillment, because it is on the level of the soul. It is not on the level of the body. And the soul is imperishable. So this is the point from where Poonthanam starts writing Jnanapana. So he writes Jnanapana. Now, so he is quite famous in Guruvayoor temple also, because of some incidents that has happened. We will discuss. So one day, what happened is, Poonthanam, he was a very simple-hearted Brahmana. No, we should understand one thing. Krishna only appears to those people who are very simple-hearted. If you are crooked, he is the Lord of crookedness. He will show you how it is done. But if you are simple, you go in front of Krishna and say that, Krishna, I am this, this, this and this. Not pretending that I am something else. So Poonthanam was like that. His heart was like a child. In fact, in the first canto, 8th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, Kunti Maharani says in her prayers that what is the qualification of getting Krishna? Krishna belongs to whom? And Kunti Maharani says, Janma Ishvarya Shruta Shribir Edamanam Madappuman Naivar Hatya Vidhatum Vaitvam Akinchana Gocharam Namo Akinchana Vittaya Nivritta Gunavrittaye Atma Ramaya Shantaya Kaivalya Pataye Namaha. She says, who is Krishna? Who has the qualification to see Krishna and who cannot see Krishna? These three things she is saying. Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shribir Edamanam Madappuman. Janma, having a high parentage, high birth. Aishwarya, one who is, having a lot of wealth, possessions. Shruta, one who is very learned. Shri, one who is very beautiful and handsome. Edamanam Madappuman, somebody who is running after these four things, and somebody who has it in some degree and he is intoxicated by it. Sometimes people are very handsome, or some people who have very wealth, they are very, akadu kind of. They have attitude in their life. They have this tendency of downplaying others and all those things. Because they are in mada, they are in intoxication. They are not understanding that Krishna can snatch away those things at any point of time. The material world will just snatch those things away from you. So, Edamana Madappuman, somebody who is very intoxicated. Naiva arhati abhidatum vetvam akinchana gocharam. They have no arhata to see you, my Lord. Why? Tvam akinchana gocharam. Because you belong to those people who have no possessions in this world, who have absolutely nothing, you belong to them. Namo akinchana vittaya nivritta gunavrittaye atmarama. Why? Because you are atmarama. You are self-satisfied. Nobody can. Some people think that I will give this much donation and then Krishna will be obliged to give him something. He is not realizing that Krishna has only given him. Right? So somebody who is intoxicated with these things, Krishna is never present before them. But at the same time, somebody who has nothing and somebody who says that Krishna, I am yours. I belong to you. I love you. And Krishna will reciprocate for sure. Some lessons we learn in life in a very hard way. Like I have realized in my life, like I am not a very self-realized person, but still some things Krishna has given me some realizations, which I will share in my own way with you. Sometimes in life, you see that you are forced into some situations where you understand how helpless you are, and that is very important, because we have a tendency of controlling and enjoying and lording it over everything around us and everybody around us. With everybody we have a tendency that this person should behave in such and such way with me. This situation should be favorable for me. Like I remember when I was a student, like I was never a bad student. Like bad in the sense, character-wise maybe I was bad, but in academics at least I was good, because I would score good marks. So I had never really seen failure in my life. But I took a course which compelled me to understand that how much smart I am, or what failure is. And failure is quite difficult, and it is a very big reversal in your life. I failed so many times that at a point of time I realized that, my dear Lord, I don't have anybody in this world now, because even my parents are criticizing me. There was a point like that in my life. But one thing I can assure you for sure is that in those days of crisis, I was more happy than in the days of my prosperity. I was more happy, I was more self-satisfied, or maybe I was in a bliss at a point of time when I was failing, to be honest. Why? Because those are the days I realized that Krishna is there for me. Like for example, it is a very recent incident. I went to the temple the other day. It was last week. I went to the temple Radha Gopinath in ISKCON Chowpatty. It is in Girgaon. So I went there. So I was taking darshan of the Lord. There Gopinath is very beautiful. He is standing with Srimati Radharani, and I was standing there and I was taking darshan. It was a peaceful time. And some devotees, they were having kirtan and all these things were happening. So I was looking at Krishna and I was just trying to, somehow relish the moment. But my mind was very restless because of some things that are happening in my life currently. Some office issues and all those things. My mind was quite restless. And to that point that I am actually, only seeing things which are going wrong in life. There are some times in your life like that, when anything that you see, even in the good, you try to figure out what is wrong. So I was in such kind of a situation, and I was standing before the Lord and I was looking at Him, and I was trying to offer an heartfelt prayer. Right? Offering prayer is an art. You all must learn. Like, it is not very easy. Offering prayer is not going and saying that, Krishna, I want a Tata Nexon. No, it's not like that. Offering prayer is a heart-to-heart thing with Krishna, where you glorify Krishna, saying that, Krishna, you are so beautiful. Krishna, you are looking so handsome today. And you say that, my dear Lord, I am so fallen. I am so away from you. Please accept me. And all these things happen. But that fine day I realized that my mind was not there, and it had never happened to me, especially in a temple hall. I am just, seeing wrong in others. Somebody who is doing it, then, oh, this tune I don't like. This person, he is not doing it properly. Why are these people dancing like this? They should dance like this rather. I'm thinking like that. And I'm realizing that all these things are happening in my mind. You are not the mind. Right? Somewhere or the other, you have to make that distinction. And I'm standing before the Lord, I'm saying that I am so fallen, this mind, even if I'm standing before you, I'm criticizing your devotees or finding faults in them. It had never happened to me, and it was heartbreaking. Like, what is this? My mind is so wicked. It is doing all these things. And I was somehow standing there, and I was somehow fighting with myself inside. Somebody who is outside, he might think that, oh, this person is such a great devotee. He's looking at Krishna staring since half an hour. But what is going on inside, only I know. So this thing is happening. And that day passed by. So when I was coming to the temple, I was very hungry. So I went to the kitchen so that I can get some prasadam. So I was going to the kitchen, and the person who was there in the kitchen, he told me that, oh, sorry, the prasadam you won't get today, now. So you come after 9 o'clock, something like that. And I was very hungry. So first of all, I was frustrated in life. Second thing, I was not getting prasadam. So you know कि भूखे हो तो आप नहीं रहते हो, तो वो सब चल रहा था. Then I came to the temple hall. Then I was looking at the deity, and these things are happening inside. You see, I was completely out of control from inside. And I was thinking that कि अरे बाबा क्या है ये, मतलब क्या चल रहा है, कुछ है भी कि नहीं, मतलब अपना. So, and then when I was going back home that day, so I met a very senior devotee from the temple. He was also in the same train. And we started speaking, a conversation strike. And we were speaking, we spoke nice things, and we got down from the train. So his wife, she was in the ladies coach, and she came back. They were coming together. So I had left already. But then I saw them. I waited for 2 minutes. They came by, and these devotees, both of them, they actually dress Gopinath. The devotees, the altar service, they dress Krishna. So they dress Gopinath. And that Mataji, we were meeting for the first time. So that Mataji, she opened up the cover, she took out a rose, and she gave me and told me that this is Gopinath's.
Wow.
So I got it, and the first thought that came in my mind, it was that Gopinath is personally giving me. Because I was thinking that, is there really somebody who is caring for me? Krishna arranged for a rose flower that day, so it is so romantic. He gave me the rose flower. It just made my day. It made my day in such a way that since 2 weeks I am in ecstasy, today also. Krishna has his own ways of reciprocating. Once I was in Govardhan Eco Village when I was doing my CA final studies. So I was there for quite a long time. So on the last day, when I was leaving Govardhan Eco Village, I was just somehow inspired. I didn't go for the Mangala Arati that day because I had to study. So I got up a little late because last night I had sat too long. I woke up, and then when I was taking bath, I realized that, I have to offer something to Krishna before I go. So usually when I feel those things, I write. I wrote a poetry on Krishna on a certain topic. So I thought that I want to offer it to Radha Vrindavan Bihari. It is ISKCON Govardhan Eco Village deities. So I thought I will offer something. So I sat down. That day I actually didn't take breakfast. Usually I would go for Mangala Arati, then do my japa, then all the sadhana and everything. Then while coming back, I will take prasadam and come back. That day I had skipped, so I was hungry. But I thought that I will do one thing. I will take this note. I had wrote that on a paper. Then I will take it to the pujari. I will get it offered. Once I get that back, then I will go to the cafe and eat something and come back. I will skip the lunch. That is what I was planning. And when I went, so the pujaris were not there only. So they would come only by 12:30. So I had a test scheduled in the afternoon. So I couldn't wait for long. Right? And now I have this paper, I have to offer it in the altar. I cannot go to the cafe and eat. Hey, na, this will get muchi, I have to write it again and all those things. So I thought that what should I do? I thought that I'll skip lunch and breakfast both today. I will have, by 3 o'clock or something, I will have something. So I was just coming back. I called up a brahmachari also. I told him that, are you in the DT room? He said, no, actually I'm in the ashram. Today it is somebody else's seva. So if I come also, I have to take bath again and do all those rituals and come, because I have to go inside. No? So it will take time. So better you come in the evening, or you wait till 12 o'clock, 12:30. So I thought that I'll go back. I have to study anyway. And I was thinking that, I cannot have anything because I have this letter also. So maybe Krishna wants me to fast today. Chalo. So I was going back. When I was going back, there was one brahmachari whom I used to meet every day in the Mangalarti. We would chant together. But we had never, struck up a conversation or anything. We had never spoke to each other. His brahmachari was coming by that side. I was going by this side, inside. So he came up. He waited for a moment and he looked at me and told that, Prabhu, have you joined here? The ashram? So I said that, no Prabhu, why? बोलते कि बहुत दिन से दिख रहे हो, इतना टाइम कोई नहीं रहता इधर, तो आप क्या कर रहे हो इधर? तो I told him कि ऐसा situation. बोलते कि अच्छा ऐसा है क्या? 1 second ना, and he took out a packet of prasadam from his pocket and told that this is Giriraj prasadam. Like that he gave me. And the first thing that struck my mind is, I was hungry since morning. I was not eating from the cafe. Why? Because I have that letter. If I go once inside, I am not going to get anything. See how Krishna is arranging. This is how Krishna reciprocates in our life. It is just that you need the eyes to see that. It is happening with all of us. But it's just that we are not seeing it. Sometimes it might not be so miraculous, but it is happening. So my point was that the more I realized Krishna and Krishna's presence in my life, when people had, not really people, but situations were such that I was in distress. So same you can see the parallel in Poonthanam's life. Okay, what Poonthanam is going through, we cannot just imagine all those things, but still, in small ways we would also be having realizations in our life. So yes, Poonthanam was not a very great scholar, but he was very simple-hearted. And his simple-hearted devotion towards Krishna was something that bound Krishna with him. One day, after writing Jnanapana, Poonthanam came to Guruvayoor temple. At that point, Melpattur Narayana Bhattadiri, who was a very expert scholar in Sanskrit, especially in Vibhakti. Vibhakti is grammar, Sanskrit grammar. He was a very expert, eloquent scholar. So he was there in Guruvayoor. Okay. So when Poonthanam came there, Poonthanam came to know about this incident. Okay, Narayana Bhattadiri is there. I will go up with this literature and tell him, can you please correct if there are some mistakes or suggest some changes or anything. Poonthanam goes up to him and Poonthanam says that, actually I have wrote something. So can you just go through it and correct it? Can you do that? Because I have heard that you are a great scholar. Now Narayana Bhattadiri looks at Jnanapana and he says that, oh, is this in Malayalam? And Poonthanam says that, yes, I have wrote it in Malayalam. Says that, what are you going to write in Malayalam? You leave it, it will be full of mistakes. There is no point seeing it. Like that he says. Because he is a great Sanskrit scholar and he is so puffed up and he is also a devotee, but at the same time he has that thing in his mind. So he says that what is going to be there in this book, what this book has to offer. You leave it, take it. And Poonthanam, like we all felt at this point, Poonthanam felt extremely, he felt as if, what is this? Everybody is rejecting me. Even this work I have done it with, I have put myself into this and you see Krishna, this is happening with me. And he starts crying out of his simplicity and goes away. At that point, there are two versions of the story, but I will tell you both. The first version is, from the altar inside, a voice came. And that voice told to Narayana Bhattadiri, Poonthanam might not be a scholar in Sanskrit like you, but you note this point, that I love Poonthanam's bhakti more than your vibhakti. Right? So Krishna says like that and leaves it, and then he realizes, "Arey baap re, maine kya galti kar diya?" And he comes to Poonthanam and he apologizes and all this. Second version of the story is that night Bhattadri goes to sleep, and in his sleep a small Brahmana boy, he comes to him and he says that, "Okay, what have you written?" So Narayana Bhattadri says that Narayaniyam I have wrote. So Narayaniyam is a great eloquent work. It is celebrated in South India. So Narayaniyam he takes and says that Narayaniyam is what I have written. So there is a story behind Narayaniyam. He was going through some disease. It was kind of like paralysis. So somebody suggested him that you go to Guruvayoor, stay in Guruvayoor, and then do bhajan. It will go away. And every day you write some leela about Krishna, because you are eloquent. So you write, you are scholarly. So every day he would write one dashakam. A dashakam in Sanskrit means it is a composition which consists of 10 verses. Ashtakam means 8 verses. Dashakam means 10 verses. So he would every day write dashakam. So like that, after 100 days, Krishna appeared in front of him. Because of his devotion, Krishna appeared before him. And you can see that in the Narayanam, in the very last dashakam he writes, Agre Pashyami, Divya Kaishora Vesham, like that he writes. I am seeing Krishna in front of me, like that. So he is a very great scholar. So that Brahmana boy asks, what have you written? So he says that Narayanam I have wrote. And he says that, okay, recite a verse for me. So he starts with the first verse. Sandra Ananda Vabodhatmakam Anubhavidam Kala Deshava Divyam, he starts. So the Brahmana boy says that, oh, this verse is nice, but there is one mistake. This is the mistake. Like that he says. He says, okay. So the second verse. So he recites the second verse. He says, oh, there are two mistakes in this and this. Then the third verse. So he points out 3 mistakes. The fourth verse, he points out 4 mistakes. Then the fifth verse, he points out 5 mistakes. After a point of time, Poonthanam Bhattadri just gets out of his dream and he realizes that is nobody was Krishna only. And he is saying that तेरा भी कुछ अच्छा नहीं है, बस मैं accept कर रहा हूँ. उसका मतलब ये नहीं है. For the world you might be very scholarly, but if I have to point out mistakes, your work is full of mistakes only. So you leave it like that. And then he comes to Poonthanam and he says that I am so sorry. दिल पे मत लो, अरे मैं ऐसे ही बोल रहा था, दिखाओ, अरे इसमें कोई गलती नहीं है, ऐसा करके. So this is one story. And Krishna was very fond of Poonthanam, in so much so that one day Poonthanam stayed very far away from the Guruvayoor temple. He was in Malappuram district, so it was very far away. And one day he developed a desire that on Ekadashi I want to see Lord Krishna. So that night he decides that I will start walking for Guruvayoor, so that during the Mangala Aarti, the Nirmalyam, I will see the Lord. So he starts walking, he is going, passing dense jungle. When he is passing those jungle, there are these dhakus in the jungle, dacoits. So they are all standing on all the trees and all these things, and they they suddenly jump in front of Poonthanam. And they say that whatever valuable you have, you give us, else we will kill you. And Poonthanam has nothing. But they are seeing that there is some kind of a cubicle, not cubicle, but some kind of a box kind of thing which is wrapped with red color cloth, silk cloth. So they think that, oh, this must be some kind of a treasure. But it is actually Poonthanam's Bhagavatam. So Poonthanam knows that Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna. So Poonthanam is very fond of Bhagavatam. So he always keeps Bhagavatam towards his chest, because that is a treasure of his life. So these people, they are seeing that, oh, this person has kept, so this must be very valuable. And these people are, trying to pull the Bhagavatam, and Poonthanam is saying that, you people don't know the value of this thing, don't take it away. And all these things are happening. So at one point, they decide that Poonthanam ko maar dalte. And they try to kill Poonthanam. At that point, they hear कि बहुत सारा horses और ऐसा पूरा आर्मी आ रहा है. और अभी कैसा होता है, ये पुलिस वाले लोग आते तो कैसे विसल मारते हैं ना, ऐसा. तो वैसे ही ये राजा लोग के जितने भी सैनिक लोग और ये लोग सब आते, तो वो लोग कुछ हॉर्न और ऐसे सब बजाते हैं, शंख और ये सब बजाते. So these people realize, अरे बाप रे, राजा के लोग आ रहे हैं और ये लोग हम लोग को पकड़ लेंगे. तो वो लोग क्या करते हैं, पूंथानम को उधर ही छोड़ते हैं धक्का देके, तो वो लोग सब भाग जाते हैं. और उसके बाद में वो टाइम के मंगा टचन बोलते हैं, मतलब इट इज़ अ पोजीशन लाइक डीजीपी हम लोग बोलते हैं ना आज के तारीख, तो वैसे मंगा टचन करके एक पोजीशन होता था. वो किंग का सबसे ट्रस्टेड वो पुलिस हेड जैसा होता है ना वैसे. सो दैट पर्सन पर्सनली केम टू पूंथानम and said that, don't you know, this time of the night you should not be walking by these places. It's not safe. Why are you here? So he says that, Are kal Ekadashi hai, I want to see the Lord, that's why I had come, and all those things. So Mangatajan says that, okay, आगे तो इससे भी dangerous है. You do one thing, you start walking. I am behind only. You keep walking. Once you are in a safe place, no, I will leave you and then I will go back. So Poonthanam says, oh, thank you so much, chalo. And they start going. जाते जाते ये लोग ऐसा कॉन्वर्सेशन भी कर रहे हैं कि आप क्या करते हो, तो बोलते हैं मैं एक ब्राह्मण हूँ, मैं ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं, आप क्या करते हो, ये वो सब कॉन्वर्सेशन चल रहा है. एक पॉइंट पे ये लोग आते हैं तो मंगाटचन बोलते हैं कि चलो अभी आई लीव, आई हैव टू गो. सो पूंथानम सेज दैट वेट बिफोर यू गो, दिस इज अ रिंग, दिस इज द ओनली पोजेशन दैट आई हैव. You know, I know that Krishna has sent you. You know, Guruvayoorappan has sent you so that you can protect me. So you keep this with you as a gift. So Mangatachan says that no, this is my duty. I am king's man. I get salary for this. Why are you doing this? He said no, you keep. ऐसा बोल के force करके Mangatachan को देते और चले जाते. Then the very next day he has come and the temple opens and he sees Guruvayoorappan. He is very happy. It's on Ekadashi day. And he says to Guruvayoorappan also, you see, you sent those people last night, that's why I am here. They were trying to kill me, and all those things he is describing. At that point, Andar se the priest comes out. He runs towards Poonthanam and says that, is this yours? And there is this ring, you know, that he has given to Mangatachan. So he says that, is this ring yours? So Poonthanam says that, yes, but this I had given to Mangatachan. So this priest says that, yesterday night Guruvayoorappan had come in my dream. And he told me that Poonthanam will come tomorrow morning. So you give him this ring belongs to him. He will understand whatever it is. So Poonthanam takes the ring and Poonthanam realizes that as Mangatachan, actually Krishna had only come. Krishna personally took that thing up to him. He could just arrange somebody, but no. Krishna personally came to assist him. And this is actually what Krishna promises us in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, Yoga Kshemam Vahami Aham. He says, for a devotee who is sent person surrendered, what do I do? Yoga, that I will give him whatever he lacks, and Kshema, whatever he has, I will protect. How? Aham. Personally I do it. He does not do that with the agents. He does that personally. So that is the beauty of Krishna. You know. And Poonthanam, once again, and all these people around are discussing what is exactly happening. We are not understanding. Why has this person come and given, you know, the ring to Poonthanam and all these things. Then the Pujari reveals to everyone, oh, Poonthanam is such a great devotee that Krishna himself goes. And that the priest is also very happy. Why? Because he has seen Guruvayoorappan in his dream. He has seen him. And why is that happening? Because of Poonthanam. Because he has some connection with Poonthanam. So after this incident, Poonthanam becomes quite famous in the Guruvayoor temple. So much so that he is given special places and honor. You know, sometimes for the lunch, when Poonthanam comes, he has to sit first. Then only everybody else will sit, and all those things are there. He was quite happy with all those things. Everything was going on very well. Sometimes there were some brahmanas who were very envious of Poonthanam. You see, there must be some people, you know, who disbelieve all these things. अरे ऐसा कुछ नहीं हुआ रहेगा, ये लोग बस ऐसा मन का तीर्थ कथा बना रहे, जो भी है, हम भी तो भक्त है, मतलब ऐसे सब लोगों को होता है ना. So there were some brahmanas who were very envious of Poonthanam, and they knew that Poonthanam is not very well versed with Sanskrit. Wherever Poonthanam was very attached to Srimad Bhagavatam, and wherever Srimad Bhagavatam katha would go on, saptah would go on, Poonthanam would go there, and he would listen to those kathas, and they would actually invite Poonthanam to speak on Srimad Bhagavatam. Everywhere. If Poonthanam is there, of course, if Poonthanam comes here, you will tell me that पीछे बैठो Poonthanam. ऐसा ही होता है ना. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, so when he would go for Srimad Bhagavatam, he was invited to give talks on Krishna. So one time he went and the topic was Rukmini Swayamvaram. So he was speaking about Rukmini Swayamvaram. If you all remember in Kathamrit, the last session was Rukmini Swayamvaram. So one time he was about to speak about Rukmini Swayamvaram, and when he was speaking about Rukmini Swayamvaram, he told that then Rukmini gave the letter to the Brahmana so that the Brahmana could give it in confidence to Krishna. Right? When he told this, many people from the audience, who are envious of Poonthanam, some of them stood up and told that, okay, Poonthanam, in which verse of Srimad Bhagavatam it is said that, Rukmini gave him a letter? Because if you see scrutinizingly, there is no verse in Srimad Bhagavatam which specifically states that there was a letter. So they said that, you show me the verse now where it is written. How can you say that there was a letter? At this point, and Poonthanam is perplexed what to do. I don't know, he doesn't know much. And from the altar inside again a voice comes, and the voice said that, where in the Srimad Bhagavatam it is written that the Brahmana didn't come with a letter? There is no such verse, no? I was the person who received the letter. So I know better. Rukmini had sent a letter with the Brahmana. Like that. And after this, all those Brahmanas also. So at many places, Guruvayoorappan, he did something so that, Poonthanam gets that appreciation and everything that he deserves. In fact, there was a Santana Gopalam Pana that Poonthanam had written. It is one of his greatest works. So in that, it is a story of a Brahmana. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a story where in Dwaraka there is a Brahmana who was losing his child. Like his child is born and the child dies. Like that 10 of his sons die. When Arjuna was there in Dwaraka, so this Brahmana comes up to Krishna and says that, we are in Dwaraka, but still my 10 children have died. Who will protect? You are the king, so you must be protecting us, but nobody is protecting my child. What is happening? And Arjuna takes over and says that the next time your wife is going to deliver the child, I am going to personally protect the child with Gandiva. Nobody is going to come and take away the child. So the wife gets pregnant again. And the child also passes away. So he asks Arjuna, you had told me that you will protect. So he says that, okay, I am going to commit suicide. So he is about to commit suicide at that point, and Krishna intervenes and says that, Baba Ruk, chalo, I will show you something. Then he takes Arjuna to Vaikuntha, where Mahavishnu is there. And they, both of them, Arjuna and Krishna, they go to Vaikuntha. And there they see all the 10 children are playing with Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu is protecting them. And they say that, you give the child back, and Mahavishnu says that, yes, you take it. I just wanted to meet Krishna, that's why. Like that he says. So they meet and they take the child and they give it back to the Brahmana. The Brahmana gets 10 children. And Arjuna is also safe. So this incident, this Leela, we have spoke very, in a very short summary. About this Leela, Poonthanam has written an entire Pana, an entire poetry. This is known as Santana Gopalam. And in this poetry, Poonthanam was stuck at a point where he had to describe how Vaikuntha looks. He had to describe, when Krishna and Arjuna went to Vaikuntha, how Vaikuntha was looking and all these things. So he was just thinking, how should I mention and, how should I glorify Vaikuntha? Because I have not seen Vaikuntha yet. Poonthanam goes to sleep that night. Guruvayoorappan comes in his dream and takes him to Vaikuntha and shows him. You see how Vaikuntha is looking, and tomorrow morning write this. Like that. So very next morning, Poonthanam writes down how Vaikuntha looks. In Santana Gopalam you can see he has written how beautiful Vaikuntha is. So Poonthanam is very special to Krishna, and their relationship is very special. So all these things were happening because of his attachment to Srimad Bhagavatam. Like I told you, he was invited at many places. So there is a temple in Kerala which opens for only a few days. It's a Shiva temple known as Kottiyur. It is in Kerala. So it opens for a very few days. And in those few days they keep Bhagavatam also. And once Poonthanam was there in Kottiyur temple, and Poonthanam was invited to speak on a topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. So one day he would speak on one topic, then the other day the very next topic, like that. So the first day he came and he spoke about a fight that happened between Rukmini and Krishna. So that chapter of the Bhagavatam, it says that one day Rukmini and Krishna, they were in their room, and suddenly Krishna started teasing Rukmini. So he said that, you know, whom have you married? You are a Kshatrani, you must have, you are a queen, you are a princess, you must have married a king. You have married a coward boy. This is not a good match. I will do one thing, I will find a good guy for you. There are many kings, so I will find one for you who is, matching your levels, and you get married to him. Anyway, nothing like that he was saying. And he kept on teasing. After a point, Rukmini just fainted away that Krishna is rejecting me. And Krishna, with his 4 arms, he picks her up, and with one arm he feeds some water to her and all those things. Then he pacifies. So it is a very romantic incident between Rukmini and Krishna that had happened. This chapter Poonthanam describes. And in the very next chapter he has placed a bookmark. Ki kal yahan se padhna hai. And he goes away. Everybody goes away, sleeps, comes back and opens the book. The bookmark is on the very same chapter that he has described the previous day. So some kind of confusion. So he decides कि okay, bookmark इधर था तो वापस एक और बार कर लेते. Everybody is enjoying, so he is also. So वापस he speaks on the same topic. Again he keeps a bookmark. He goes away. He comes back. He sees that the bookmark is on the same page. So again he describes. So all the days, all the 7 days or 9 days he was there in that temple, he only described this one chapter. Again and again the bookmark was coming there only. So he was also thinking it was a strange year. Okay, anyway, I will go. So the temples were closed and he was leaving for his home. So when he was crossing, so there is a river there, so he had to cross the river and then go to the home. So when he crossed the river, he realized that, oh, I have not took my Bhagavatam from the temple. So he comes back to the temple to take Bhagavatam. By the time everybody has left, because the temple is already closed. Now after 1 year only the temple is going to open. So he comes back to take Bhagavatam, but he hears somebody is speaking and the topic is Srimad Bhagavatam that he understands. From the keyhole he looks and he sees that Lord Shiva is sitting, Parvati is sitting besides, and all the Bhutaganas and Pretas, they are all flying in the air and sitting down, and all these people are there. And Lord Shiva is speaking on Srimad Bhagavatam. And he is speaking the same chapter. Krishna teasing Rukmini. So he speaks on the same chapter. Everybody is in ecstasy. And Poonthanam also, of course, he hears Shivji is speaking. And after the class, he looks at Parvati, Shivji, and says that, how did you feel? What do you feel about my class? And Parvati says that indeed it is wonderful. It is Bhagavatam. What more can you give? Bhagavatam is wonderful. But can I say you something? Will you feel offended or bad? So Shivji says, no, you tell me. Poonthanam did it better. Like that she says. And when Shivji hears this, he is in ecstasy. He is, the tears roll down his cheeks and he is smiling. And he says that, that is why I would go every night and keep the bookmark again and again on the same chapter. Because I loved it, how Poonthanam is saying. Says that, because that is how realized souls are. You see the glories of Shivji here, he is hearing the same thing again and again and again, but he is ever feeling new. Because Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna. The day you hear the same story, the same shloka, same things again and again and again, and you feel ever new increasing love for Krishna, that is when you realize that you have become a realized soul. And Poonthanam is so great that even Shivji wants to hear from him, because he has a simple heart and only love for Krishna. This was a very great incident. There are many. I will conclude with one. Okay, these are the last days of Poonthanam. So like I told you, there was special these things, privileges given to Poonthanam in Guruvayoor temple. One fine day, somebody else had to come to the temple, who was a very great sannyasi or something. He had come from some other part. And Poonthanam was sitting at the regular place where Poonthanam was given his space. So he was sitting there for the prasadam, and this person came. So all these, one among the temple leaders, they came And they looked at Poonthanam and said that, what kind of Atithi Maryada is this? Why are you sitting here? Here, the guest should sit, no? Why are you sitting? So Poonthanam is a little reluctant because everybody has decided, no, that place for him. So that person pushes Poonthanam. He pulls Poonthanam out and says that no, it is not your space. Later you see. And Poonthanam feels very dejected, like what has happened to me. And he goes and he is just weeping before Krishna that what has happened. At that point, Krishna tells him that there is no need, you don't come to Guruvayoor anymore. You go to your home, I will come to your home, I will give you darshan there. We will have whatever we have there. There is no need, these wicked people, you don't have to deal with them, you don't come here. I will come with you. You go. From that day onwards, Poonthanam would not come to Guruvayoor. In fact, the very first day when he came back home, so he was about to enter the home, but he was saying that no, I won't enter unless and until Krishna says that I have come first. So at that point, he was sitting on his chair. It is outside his house, so he has not got inside. So he is sitting there and he is waiting for Krishna. Only when Krishna gives me an indication that I have come, then only I will go. At that point, Krishna, as a little boy, he comes on his left side and stands there, saying that I am here. You may go inside and have your lunch and everything. That is when Poonthanam enters the house and things happen. Today, in the Poonthanam Illam in Kerala, his family house, there is still a temple where Krishna appeared on that day. It is known as Edathupuram, like that. Edathu means left in Malayalam. So he appeared there, so they have made a temple there of Krishna. So from that day onwards, Poonthanam was with Krishna all the time. Because Guruvayoorappan was there in his house and they were having their own fun time. He was actually very old at this point. And his wife and all those people around him, they were not very great devotees. They thought that Poonthanam is a fanatic because he is sitting somewhere and he is speaking with someone. He is playing with, as if he is playing with a child, but there is no child. And all these things are happening. So they thought that he is a fanatic, he has gone mad, like that. And one day, Guruvayoorappan, he came in his dream. So it was just some days prior to his birthday. So he came to his dream and told him that this birthday, you keep a good celebration. I will also come for lunch. And after that, I will take you back to Vaikuntha. Like that you told him. Like this was the plan. So Poonthanam is very excited. He gets up and he goes to every places around and he says that my birthday is coming. You all come. There is a lunch. Guruvayoorappan is also coming. So you can have lunch with him. He is telling that he will take me back to Vaikuntha. So when he takes me back, I will tell him to take you back also. So we can go together. And all these things he is saying to everybody. And everybody is thinking that this person has got mad. His wife is thinking that he is mad. Everybody, to whomever he went to give an invitation, they thought that he is mad. And they were feeling, they were sympathizing with Poonthanam. They were saying that, बेचारा एक तो बूढ़ा हो गया, ऊपर से ये गति हो गई ऐसा एंड में, नहीं करना चाहिए भक्ति, ऐसा ही होता है, बहुत ज़्यादा ही हो जाता है, ऐसा होता है. अभी भी होता है ना, कुछ लोग ऐसा बोलते हैं ना, थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो रहा है इसका अभी ऐसा. So like that, because they don't realize what reciprocation is happening. Only you know what is happening with you. So at this point, everybody, Poonthanam is excited. Poonthanam is calling everybody, but nobody is giving him much attention. But Poonthanam is nevertheless satisfied because Krishna is going to come and he is waiting for the day. There is only one person in his entire family, there is a servant who is his wife's servant, personal maid servant she is. She is a little girl and she has trust in Poonthanam. She is the only person who trusts in Poonthanam and she says that, are you sure Krishna is coming? He says that, yes, Krishna is coming on my birthday, and she is very happy. She serves Poonthanam, she plucks flowers for him, for his puja and everything. On the day of his birthday, everybody is coming, taking lunch and everything, but Poonthanam is not taking lunch. He is saying that once Krishna comes, I will feed Krishna, then only I will take. He will come because he has promised me, he will not break his promise, he will come. So I am waiting for him. So sometimes he is going out, he is very restless, he is going out looking for Krishna, then he is coming back, and then everybody is looking at him. And things are getting intense. Hour by hour, things are getting intense. Because Poonthanam wants to go back. And everybody is thinking that Poonthanam is getting more and more mad. Everybody is very sad. His wife and all, they are crying, saying that what is happening to him. Then, at one point of time, Poonthanam says that yes, he is coming now. So everybody says, oh, what are you saying? Who is coming? So Krishna is coming because I can hear, Garuda is flapping his wings. He is coming, I can hear. He is going to come, he will arrive at any moment. Be ready. And he says to his wife especially, when you are cooking, you cook with good consciousness. You are cooking for Krishna. Take care. And she is thinking that this person is mad. And then, at one point, only that servant she is asking, really, can you hear? Can you hear? And he says that yes. And he comes out, he peeks out and he sees that Garuda has already landed and Krishna is standing besides. And Poonthanam runs to Krishna for welcoming him. And when he runs, all the family people are bewildered. What is this person doing now? Why is he running? He is so old. And this servant, she runs behind first. And when these family people, they come out, they only see the servant. And she is lying down on the ground in the mud. And she is looking upwards. And everybody asks, where is Poonthanam? And she points out at Poonthanam. But they cannot see Poonthanam in the air. So she points out and she says that actually Krishna came and he is taking Poonthanam and Poonthanam is calling me. You also come. So I am going. And she leaves her body there. Like that. And they go back to Godhead. And it is happily ever after. So this was the story of Poonthanam. So I have made a PPT. I will share the PPT with you. But nevertheless. So what is the lesson? The lesson is be simple-hearted. You cannot conquer Krishna with anything that you have. Anything material that you have, you cannot conquer Krishna. Krishna is only conquered by love and love alone. Right? No amount of scholarship. Doesn't matter what your age is. Doesn't matter where you come from. Doesn't matter what your habits were or are. Doesn't matter how much wealth you have or whatever. Krishna is only and only, conquered by love of his devotees.
Bhakti.
Thank you.